Hey everyone, welcome to the Friday Mortgage Coach Mastermind. On behalf of Dave Savage and the crew at Mortgage Coach, I am Todd Bookspan from Win by Noon, and I'm super excited to have you all here today. As always, we get here every Friday, we mastermind. So this is about you. It's about you asking questions. And of course, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, none other than Deborah Bird. Welcome, Deborah.
What's up? Happy Friday. Can I just make a small little reminder to everybody? Because I made the post, and I do apologize, it was a little bit later last night, maybe early this morning, about this special call. But just a reminder to everybody, I get a lot of people that either DM me or message me, how can I watch this? They'd really love to be on live, but they can't. So just guys, remember that this will always go into the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel. If you hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell notification, it'll notify you as soon as it goes in there. Because I know there's a lot of you who ask me questions about what Sam's going to share today and want to get the full scoop. And just know, if you ever can't participate live, go check out, the recording later. And then also these, you have to start registering via the link. So I added the link to my post, and I had a call with a gentleman yesterday who said, I don't think we're getting the emails anymore of the calls. And so I just wanted to make that reminder that, remember, every call that we do on Tuesday and Fridays, you need to make sure that you register, and it's a new registration link each time. So just, kind of remember that here. So
that is a great reminder, because you have to go over to the Mortgage Coach page. And if I'm really talented later, I'll actually show you guys how to do it. But it's on there somewhere. In fact, maybe Robert will throw the link up for me, because he's working behind the scenes, and then I can look like I'm really smart. But as always, we're super excited that you're all here, whether you're watching this live or you're watching this on video. And we're really excited. I've got a new friend, Sam Royer, who's going to jump on here in a second, introduce himself. So why don't you come on, Sam, and tell us a little about yourself, and then we'll start really walking into this new Helper Act, which I think is super exciting to talk about, something that you're passionate about and leading the charge on. So, but why don't you just kind of give a little background on your mortgage practice, where you're from, kind of, how long you've been doing it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, thanks, Todd, for having me. Thank you, Deborah, for having me. I know I always bug you about this, so it's awesome to be on. My name is Sam Royer. I'm the National Director of Heroes First Home Loans, which is technically a division of Churchill Mortgage. This March, I will be doing this 25 years, which, yes,
wow.
I know a young, boyish look to myself, but yeah, 25 years ago, I got in the mortgage industry, actually with some people that are probably watching right now out in California, a company called Bancorp Mortgage. It then went to Marina Mortgage. But I am just one of the most fortunate men on the planet, because I live my passion every day through what I get to do with trying to change a country for individuals that serve, not just on the commercial side with Heroes First, but also just through the legislative process of trying to get a bill passed so that the expandability of affordability will happen for individuals just like myself. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, served 4 years honorably, actually twice. And it's something that I'm very proud of, but I never was in a combat zone. So it's something, when I sit with people every day that, are running into fires, people that EMTs, right? An EMT will sit there and pull over if somebody's on the side of the road. And if they need mouth to mouth, they're kissing a stranger. So it's something that just really is a big part of my heart. And, I appreciate you guys, having me on. So.
Well, thank you for serving, Sam. And I know I first met Sam at Sales Mastery in 2000, was it 2013, 2012. And that was my first.
Graduated high school. So,
that is not true. I actually had just passed my mortgage exam. It was like my first week on the job. And Denise takes me to Sales Mastery. And, that's when we first met. And then I saw and met you again and your team here in the past, was it November, early December, for the High Trust Sales Academy. And that's when I first learned about the Helper Act. And, I was a former teacher for many years. And for many of you who may not know, our brother was a fireman for many years. And, the first responders obviously is a special place for me in my heart. And I always thought that the only option was going to be a down payment assistance option. And so I needed Sam to kind of explain this to me a couple different times. Maybe I'm a slow learner. I needed the visuals, but I kept thinking in my mind, one, how in the world is this going to work, especially in this market right now? Like, how are you able to write offers and get them accepted? And then, is this down payment assistance, and exactly, what is it? Who is it for? What made you, because it's not a veteran loan. I know you are a veteran, and it's So why don't you explain to us a little bit about what it is, where you're at with the Helper Act, and what states you've currently gotten, just, a little bit about it.
How about I'll just give it to you all. So a couple of years ago, basically, again, like I started out with, I never served in a combat role. So, I live actually a little bit north of Daytona Beach, Florida. I have a lot of cop friends. My daughter jokingly says I have a crush on cops, right? Well, the fact is, you look at America today, there are people on the home front that unfortunately they're in harm's way. I'm safe right now. Many military veterans, many people, even serving in the military, they're more in a safe zone than even cops are. Firefighters are getting shot at, so it's just a crazy world. Teachers, I think we just actually had from what I remember, a bus driver just got shot or something. So,
Wow.
The world is definitely a different place. So my struggle was that when I sat with these men and women, unless there is a down payment assistance program type of thing, I could purchase a house, 100% financing, at a certain period of time, I actually did have the funding fee, but now I have my service connected, so I don't, but I can buy it more affordably than they can, right? So a couple of years ago, I went on this path and it was kind of crazy, but.
And you're saying that because you're a vet, Sam, like that's why you're saying you can.
Yeah. So any veteran that basically qualifies for a VA home loan, they don't have to put money down. The seller technically can pay all the closing. So it's really, I got my first house. I think I paid for the home inspection. That was in 1998 and my house was 99.5 at the time. But literally, my house just recently I bought in 2019, same type of thing. The seller paid everything and I got into it. I didn't really need a lot of money. So I just, a couple of years ago, I went on a path to try and get something done. So I can tell you, if you've ever been involved in politics, it can be very rewarding, but it can be very, very stressed. It can cause you a lot of stress because you're dealing with a lot of younger generation. I just was in a senator's office 2 days ago. The average age in there was probably about 20 and a half years old. And I mean, maybe 21 if they topped out at being older. And the thing is that you're sitting there trying to show them a vision of serving people in the community by way of legislative change. So to answer your question about what this is, it's literally an FHA loan we're trying to get, whereas it has the same kind of components as a VA home loan. So if a person serves at least 4 years, so that is one of the qualifying factors, they have to serve at least 4 years. If they serve 4 years, and let's say, Deborah, your brother, the firefighter, comes to me, I'm licensed in Texas, so I think he lives in Texas. He comes to me to get a mortgage. Well, if he served 4 years, I can offer him up this FHA product, whereas he doesn't have to put money down. Now, the other affordability factor is there's not a monthly mortgage insurance. So that 0.85% that everybody has to get charged and it's on for the life of the loan, well, guess what? That's going away. Now, the question will be raised, well, how is that getting paid for? What we did was we took the upfront mortgage insurance premium, which is now 1.75, and we are saying that it's going to be 3.6%, which is exactly the same as a second use VA home loan, right? Now, some people say, well, that's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. This product, right, this FHA product would be literally something that there is a one-time use, so they can only use it one time in their career as it stands now and how the legislation is written. And at the end of the day, it's not something that we're not trying to push people to over borrow on their house. Like we're very big in a debt-free home ownership. I do not want to see people over leveraging, right? But I also see people, as everybody on this call probably sees, a lot of people are having struggles with affordability. So this, what it would do, if you take like a $400,000 house baseline, you're saving them about $180 a month. Or if they, let's say they can afford that, let's say they're a lieutenant at the fire department, they're making a little bit more money, right? Then they can actually purchase anywhere from about $50,000 to $60,000 more in house and have the same payment as a traditional FHA loan. So that's where the affordability factor comes in. It's really that simple. The interesting thing, talking to congressional leaders and senators, right? The only kickback we truly have gotten is one, we thought a program like this already existed, which many people might have heard of, the Good Neighbor Next Door program.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, if I looked up the state, like let's say I looked up Texas, there might be 10 homes available for the whole state, right? And I'm sure I've been doing this 25 years. I've never had a Good Neighbor Next Door program done. Like I've never done a loan on one of those, right? And I obviously work with a lot of cops, firefighters, and people that could utilize that. Two, is where's the catch, right? There really is no catch. I mean, we all know FHA has different subsets, as far as like a 203B, 203K, and so forth. This would just be another subset of a traditional FHA loan with expanded eligibility for those individuals that serve in our country. Or I'm sorry, not our country, our communities. So
I love that. It's the heroes of the community. And I think that's going to be the biggest obstacles, people assuming it's like down payment assistance and it's going to be the interest rate is going to be inflated.
They did for a while, Deborah. They thought we were asking for money and we're not. We're technically asking the federal government to back these loans by a little bit more because obviously there's not as much equity in the property. But that's also kind of a cool thing because when I talked to a senator's office, I explained to them that, look, we're not asking for a handout here. All we're asking is the federal government to insure these individuals, just like they insure veterans right now. And, here's another thing. I just really want to point this out up front. Some people ask, look, my mom's an ER nurse. Okay. I love 911 operators. They are individuals that hear the worst of us. They are individuals that truly, they sometimes don't know the outcomes of the calls of the stabbing they just heard on the other end of the phone, right? I would love these individuals to be included. However, trying to get national legislation done, you have to limit what you can do. So what we did was the Good Neighbor Next Door program clearly defines firefighter, law enforcement, educator, a teacher, right? Or an EMT, EMS worker. Those are considered first responders under how HUD defines it. So we took that definition and we just basically transposed it over into the Helper Act. Okay, now that doesn't mean that nurses down the road, 911 operators down the road might not be included. But if you look at the history of VA, reservists weren't in the VA for a long time. The VA was set up specifically for a group of people back in 1944. So this legislation, the Helper Act, what we hope that will happen is once it passes, it will open up that mortgage realm of a new FHA product. And then over time, FHA will see this is such a good program that ultimately they say we're going to expand it.
That's such a great, I just love where your heart is. And I love that you've been pushing this. So what as a community can we do to help?
Easy. Okay. There's this thing called a phone, right? All you have to do is you got to pick one up. You got to shoot an email. And here's the thing. Who do you call? Who do you send an email to? You literally can shoot me an email and we have a legislative team that has everything cut and paste for you, where we will tell you who exactly to send it to. And all it is very simply is, let's say, Deborah runs ABC organization. That organization says, we're backing this. They send a letter of support, which will give you all the wording. You send it to that organization. So as an example, we just got the Texas Sheriff's Association, right? They sent us a letter of support. So that means the sheriffs of Texas all support this. So Senator Cornyn's office, Senator Cruz's office, and every congressman, we are going to forward that letter of support to. Now, I can tell you, we've been in contact with every congressional office and every Senate office in the whole country. I have had over 100 calls like this with senators, congressmen, organizations throughout the country to gain their support. If you look at the website that I think's in the chat, you literally can see we have over 75 organizations, from the National FOP to the IAFF to the NEA, which is National Educators Association, to many state organizations. We have the National Association of Realtors. We have the Capitol Police, right? We've all heard of the Capitol Police in the last 2 years. Those men and women back what we're doing. So all those letters of support, a letter of support, somebody in the field. So Deborah, what county do you live in Texas, if you don't mind sharing?
Collin County.
Okay, so whatever, it's Collin County, you said?
Yes.
So let's see. I am going to Google it real quick. Who is the congressman? Do you know who it is?
No.
Collin, how do you spell it? C-U-L-L-E-N?
Hey, so Sam,
I
just shared up the heroesfirst.com, the Helper Act / the Helper Act website. So
yep.
Is there somewhere on here that we can direct them to get this, or do they really need to call you?
No, they just shoot me an email,
okay,
which we can put, but like Van Taylor is your congressman. Now, can you keep scrolling down, Todd?
Oh yeah. Whoops. Sorry. Hang on. I was
go ahead and share that again.
Yep. I'm going back there. So
And then
All
what
right.
you're going to see as you scroll down, you will see there are a whole bunch of congressmen and stuff already listed. Now, Van Taylor, actually, can you keep scrolling down?
Yep.
You will see this top portion is the senators that have already joined on. Now, stop for a second. Those senators, Senator Rubio, Scott, and Senator Lindsey Graham, they're pretty popular senators. People know those names. Senator Ossoff and Warnock, and also Senator Menendez, they're actually on the banking side of the Senate. That's a very important place. We need the senator from Ohio. His name is Sherrod Brown. He is the head of banking. We need his support because he then can put this on the agenda. Now, with 3 Democratic senators that are on banking, having this bill and endorse this bill, it hopefully will get to that point. Now, as you're scrolling, you see these are all the different congressional leaders throughout the country. Now, the coolest part about this, do you see anything here that doesn't shout America? I mean, what I see is I see men and women, I see all nationalities, and the biggest thing I see is Democrats and Republicans all working together to honor those that serve in our communities. So what somebody can do is they can reach out, like Deb could reach out to Van Taylor's office, which we actually had a call with Van Taylor's office, and she can say, I am a constituent, and I would just like you to back, I would like Congressman Taylor to back the Helper Act. Now, as a constituent, you have a lot more authority. Let me give you an example. Congressman Senator Murphy from Connecticut. I had 2 police officers on the call we had with their office. One served 27 years, the other one served 28 years. When I sat there and spoke about how I'm very proud of my 4 years of service in the Marine Corps, however, those 2 men collectively put their lives on the line for 57 years, and I can buy a house cheaper than they can. It hit them home. Like that was like it. That young lady that was the staffer for that senator's office, she said, I love this. And she went back, and Senator Murphy's on the bill now. So it's a matter of sending as many letters of support. And look, the Mortgage Coach Nation and all the different companies, this is not about Sam Royer and Heroes First Home Loans. This is not about Churchill Mortgage. This is about all of us in our society trying to do what's right for the men and women that serve every day on the home front. And the way they do that is by just picking up a phone or shooting an email to their congressional or Senate leader's office saying, we are 100% for this.
I think it's so awesome. And so it's not available now. What do you anticipate is the timeline that it's going to become available? Obviously, you got to be successful and get more people on board and get through it. But what's your goal there?
So you're asking me to talk politics on a call? Oh, love that. So here's the thing, right? And I'm just going to lay it out there. So, the head of financial services on the House side is Maxine Waters. The gentleman from North Carolina, and his name's slipping my head right now, but the gentleman from North Carolina, if anybody's from North Carolina here, I would love to talk to you. And I can't think of his name, but he's the head of the Republican side. We need to get them engaged. Now, I don't know if Maxine Waters is going to engage as much with this as the gentleman from North Carolina, but we are trying to get as many congressional leaders, because when you see a C like you just saw on the website, sooner or later, numbers matter. And when you see that many people, all those people that are endorsing this, so there now are, I believe, are 57 congressional leaders, right? When you see a number like 100, 150, 200, that kind of forces the issue that this bill has to be looked at and voted on. So all those people have already said yes. So we need 218 votes to pass, either 218 or 219. I'm sorry, that math is slipping me. If we get that many people, guess what? That's a bill that will pass in the House. Now, on the Senate side, we do feel more confident that Senator Brown will put this on his agenda. It will be talked about and sent out of committee, and then the full Senate can vote on it. But that's basically where we're at. So right now, all we're trying to do is get as many pictures and as many endorsements as possible. Just today, we got 2 other. We got a Florida Democrat and a Florida Republican, actually, that is joining on to the bill. We just got a Congresswoman from Washington State, and actually there was a mortgage professional that reached out. Julie, she was sweet enough to say, hey, how can I help? She's in contact with our DC office to get the information she needs so she can go out to her local person. So that's what it's about. It's all grassroots. And sometimes I work in the mortgage industry too.
I was going to say, how in the world do you manage it all with what you currently do?
Yeah, trust me, it's a lot of bang and it's a lot of traveling. But you know what? It's the greatest honor in the world. I was just at the sheriff's conference in Washington, and I met sheriffs from all over the country. And there's the Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma County, but it's Oklahoma City where his office is. That sheriff, he's an amazing man. Younger guy, big dude. Like I hit his arm, I almost broke my hand. And to just sit there and shake his hand and be able to say, thank you for your service, thank you for what you're doing. Then asking him if he'll endorse this, he says yes. Now we reach out to his senators and Congress people saying, Sheriff Johnson endorses this as well. It's the greatest thing in the world because those people, some people, I'm going to go a little negative here. Some people think I'm doing this for money. Now, think about my job. I'm the national director of Heroes First Home Loans, right? We hear a lot of companies that honor individuals, and that's the greatest thing in the world. If you're going to honor military, law enforcement, fire, do it. I'm all for it. At the end of the day, when this passes, we are going to have, just like you have VA home loan experts, you're going to have a massive amount of police, firefighter, home loan experts, right? Because there's a new program out there. I'm bringing everybody into my safe space, and I feel comfortable with it because at the end of the day, when you're serving those people, they will love you, they will appreciate you. And I always jokingly say, I don't know if others would say, I always say success is how many people show up at your funeral. And that's where I hope that there's a hell of a lot of people at my funeral one day. And that's really what this is about for me. So it's not about money because every company here that's an FHA approved lender, they will have the same benefit as we can give to anybody. It's really all about those individuals.
So Sam, why those individuals? And I know this kind of reminds me of our exercise we did the last day at High Trust Sales Academy, but why, you're a vet, what makes you go on this crusade where it's not for money?
Yeah.
Why? Because
I gave up my Marine Corps service way too early. So I should have served a lot longer. My dad was a teacher, my mom's a nurse, my sister's an EMT. I always promised them, especially my dad, he passed away, but that, somehow I'm going to try and change the world, and do something right. And, cops, just 2 nights ago, a Daytona cop was involved in a shooting. And, I'm texting all my friends saying, are you okay? We just had a 26-year-old kid who got killed in the line of duty. It's a Daytona cop. The sheriff of my county was shot twice. I have friends that are firefighters that they run into places that I'm scared. I'm a big dude. I'm scared to death to run in. And they're sitting there running in. And, we actually have a book coming out this year. It'll be out in November. The title of it is Called to Serve, right? It's stories of individual people that are in law enforcement, firefighting, and EMTs, and their reason why they chose to do that. I went to Marine Corps because it was the best. I didn't even walk into the other services, which maybe I was naive, but I chose to do that because I knew I was going to mess up in college if I did. And I wanted to do something better for myself and the country, as much as I could do. These people, the woman that's the first person in first chapter in our book, her name's Lizette. She's a sergeant with Daytona Beach Motors. Her brother killed somebody 4 or 5 years ago now. Now, think about being the head sergeant, and she was actually over homicide as well at the time, and you get a call that your brother just killed somebody. And it's like, I share that story. She doesn't mind me talking about it. But here, her reason for serving was because she wanted to be that cop that possibly would have helped her brother out earlier on in life. And if she could make a positive impact by being that person, I mean, that woman is absolutely a hero to me. And she's one of my best friends. And it's something that, you can't stop fighting for these people, for them to get many more benefits. Trust me, I have a million things in my head I'd love to change, but this is just a start.
Well, and I think about, loan officers on this call and even in this community. I mean, we're advising and teaching families how to get into wealth and build wealth through real estate. Yeah. And just from my own experience, my husband was a teacher and a coach as well. If it weren't for the Obama grant at the time, I'll never forget, that is, we graduated college, we were 2 teachers and coaches. I think we would get like $11 raises for the year. We made a little bit more than Todd's daughter, who's in New York, who's teaching. Where's your daughter at, Todd?
She's in Manhattan and she just got a raise. She's going to make $40,000 because she's got $1,000 because she's leading the student council.
And so you think about that 40,000, and
for
how
some of
long
us,
would it
that's like
take?
one loan. For some
Yeah.
of us, that is one loan.
Yeah.
So,
It makes it really hard. And, you do those professions, not obviously for the money. I mean, I used to wake up and think I could never get paid. And I absolutely loved what I did. I loved working with kids. I really felt like that was the way to change the world, as if I could get in front of enough broken middle school aged kids. And then I realized it was the adults that actually kind of ruined the kids. So maybe we need to start with the adults.
yeah.
But, if it weren't for that Obama grant at the time, I don't know how we would have gotten just a head start. And we owned 4 different homes. We had 4 different homes and 4 kids in like 8 years. Not that I recommend that, but every home allowed us to then be able to sell. And we had a little bit of equity to then put down on the next home. And it allowed us to get out of some of that higher interest debt. Thankfully, I had a really good mortgage advisor helping me with that strategy.
There's somebody that looks like you in the business. I come across her name once in a while.
She looks a little older, she's 12 minutes older,
Okay.
But it's so hard for the teachers and the firefighters.
Yeah.
And it's so foreign because we don't go to school to learn business or economics or, and I remember having financial advisors come in and we would get these mass emails sent to us because I think people would buy the teacher list of who they could then market to with these, homes for heroes. And you're scared to make a decision. You don't know which one's the right decision and which program is going to be best. But the biggest challenge was just coming up with that initial down payment. And so it sounds like this could be the perfect solution for any, not just police officers, firefighters, but now is it just K through 12 educators? Like, how does it work? Is it public school?
It is K through 12. It's public and private. So it is something that, again, the expandability of this, hopefully down the road. I mean, there could be a senator in markups that says, hey, I want these people included and stuff. We have to start somewhere. And again, there's a thing called a 5-year sunset. What that means, at the end of 5 years, they have to reauthorize it. But, you look at even pandemic or economic downturn, these individuals keep their jobs. They're most likely to pay their mortgage, right? So this really isn't going to be a drain on the federal government unless these people start to foreclose. So it's something that common sense wise, it just makes so much common sense. And the funny thing is that, we've actually had kickback because of teachers. Weirdly enough, there are certain individuals that are like, why are teachers involved? And I said, well, number one, we took the definition from HUD, so it already exists. Number two, teachers and unfortunately our political climate right now with unions and stuff, people are looking at overall groups of people because of small little portions of our society. So you have one bad cop, all of a sudden everybody's a bad cop. You have one bad firefighter, oh my gosh. You have one of those goofy teachers that do something bad, all of a sudden teachers should be overhauled, right? 99.9998 of people that you got into teaching because you want to do something. Lizette, the motorcycle cop that I talked about, the sergeant, she actually became a counselor before she became a cop. Now, if you met her, she is, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, she's a badass, right? She literally, they said, oh, you're never going to be a motor. This girl was like a stud athlete. She does CrossFit all the time. Well, she picked up a Harley, right? Well, she was actually in human services for kids. And then what she realized is she didn't have that much of a positive impact through that avenue. So she became a cop. And then she became the top cop, and it's like, it's individuals like that. There's a guy in a book, and I'm not trying to promote my book because I feel like I am, but he's a firefighter, right? He boxes and he tries to actually go up to Guns and Hoses in Jacksonville, and he boxes to try and promote the camaraderie between cops and firefighters, right? Well, this bill, what we're hoping it does is it actually shows America, hey, look, you got a blue and red sea of people coming together to say thank you. And actually caring at the fact that, look, prices are going up. We have to figure out more affordable options, rates. We just got a rate alert, things are going to start changing. Inflation's high. How can we offset some of this, or how can we help you without starting another government program? Like, we're not trying to start a rural housing or an FHA. We're just trying to take what's already existing and making it better. And many people on this call know, PMI on Fannie and Freddie, you can pay it monthly or you can pay it up front. Kind of same concept here, right? So it's something that, man, it's a blessing. This just having these calls, this is how it's going to get passed, because it's leaders like you guys, it's others talking about it. It's just people not being scared. All these politicians, they put their pants leg on one leg at a time, just like we do. And yesterday I was on a call with an Arizona congressional office, and I actually cursed on it. He's a Marine, I was a Marine. We're same type of units, and it was awesome. And honestly, I would be shocked if that congressman didn't jump on. But it's just talking like we are right now, so they understand this isn't about money. It's not about prestige. It's about doing what finally is right for these individuals that serve in our home front.
Yeah, I just love it. So, all right, all of you here, mortgage coach community, right? Let's make sure that we reach out to Sam so he can hook you up with a letter to send to your senators and your Congress folks so that we can really make a difference, because, you kind of nailed it. It doesn't just benefit you. It benefits first and foremost, the heroes that are serving. And then secondarily, it benefits you as loan officers, because now you've got another loan to talk about and a greater opportunity to get more people into homes. So I love that.
Well, this is the other thing, and not to cut you off, Todd, I hope that people, if you're a loan officer in Idaho, go out to a local firehouse, go out to a police station, take them some pizzas, like sit down and don't sell them on sales. Just be a person. Like somebody asked me, what's the roadmap to get in with heroes, right? I said, be human and just go treat them like you treat anybody else. So I'd take pizzas to a firehouse. I don't just drop the pizzas off. I'm like, hey, you guys care if I eat with you? And we just sit there and hang out and talk. And it's like, it's one of the greatest things. If you got little kids, my kids were very young at one point. I'm like, what do I do? They love when kids come to the firehouse and they get to show them the fire trucks and stuff like that. So, a ride along, as much as it can be dangerous, because I had to wear a bulletproof vest when I went on my ride along. The fact is, the founder of our company, who I believe, and I'm not insulting him because he's a 70-year-old man that is like a 20-year-old kid. Well, he's going for a ride along in Daytona Beach, Florida. Why is he doing it? Because our company obviously is very geared towards serving others, but he wants to see what it's about. He doesn't sit in ivory tower. He's going and actually putting boots on the ground to not only say to those individuals, we care about you, but also to learn what's really going on in the world. So if you can do that, if you're a loan officer, if you're a process, I don't care who you are, we have such a plethora of opportunity with what we do for work. The incomes we make, we can use that money for such good. And sometimes, you know what? Taxes don't pay for everything, guys. Flagler Beach, Florida, I live close to that. And the captain came and he worked, he retired from Daytona, went up and became a captain at Flagler Beach. I said, Lance, is there anything you guys need? He said, yeah, it's kind of funny. He said, we need bullets and Band-Aid, or no, bullets and rain jackets. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, listen, Sam, our training rounds aren't the same as the rounds that are in the guns or the pistols we use, right? He said, if we ever get in a critical situation, an attorney will rip that apart. I said, well, I don't know if I could buy a bullet, but I said, what's this rain gear thing, right? He said, well, our rain gear is like Walmart. It's very flimsy. I said, what do you need? 15 things of rain gear. Well, that costs about 12 grand. Well, guess what? We raised money and we got it for them. So they have really nice rain gear. I should have put a Heroes First patch on it, but it says police and it's awesome. So if you can get out in your community and do those things, it's one of the most rewarding feelings in the world.
Well, and I have a lot of clients who, they specialize in this. This is their market, whether it's VA loans, but also it is the heroes, it's the teachers, the firefighters. And so what a great idea to be able to go stop in, drop off some pizzas. Oh, yeah. Here's your one-to-many strategy, guys, where it's actually you walking in to the department and share with them this helper act. In fact, Sam, do you want to show the video? And, we can put the link to the video in the chat. And this could be something you show them.
Stuff.
Todd can probably do it. Todd
I think I can do it. Hang on, let me.
But this could be something you guys take with you and you just show them. And, these are the people that either you've already served in your communities or that you're working towards that relationship. So use this quick video, take it with you.
Oh, wait, hang on 1 second. I forgot.
You could actually you could show them the website here. Guys, I'll give you an example. So one of my teammates, he lost his brother in the line of duty in 2009 up in Washington State. There is an elementary school named after the 4 heroes that lost their life that day. It's called 4 Heroes Elementary. Well, you're sure as hell, we're going back there and we're going to thank them all for what they do. We're going to go back to the police departments and ultimately, we're going to be able to show them that we truly care about them. And here from tragedy, we're going to try and honor every one of them.
Love it. All right, here's that video, Sam.
One of the things I'm running into a lot throughout Florida, I think this is true nationally, is that a lot of the people that serve us on the front lines, from the classroom to the firehouse to the police departments, sheriff's deputies, EMTs, is the cost of living. And I think that's affecting everybody, but it's particularly affecting these professions that live in communities now where living is unaffordable.
This is a great bill to help first responders, including teachers, actually be able to purchase a home, making it economically feasible for them to be able to purchase their homes by a no down payment program with no mortgage insurance payment. I was just really pleased to be able to get behind this.
So we've got people, in some cases, living 2 counties away from the communities they serve because of the cost of housing. And so this will hopefully make it more feasible for people serving us in classrooms, out in the streets, both keeping us safe and responding to emergencies. It'll make it more affordable for them to be able to acquire a home for their families. And we're hoping to get this done. I can't imagine why anybody wouldn't be for this.
Love it. Love it. So that has all of Sam's info on there. So it's the video that's right on the front. If you go to the website, which Robert has posted in there, thehelperact.us.
Yeah, so I go ahead,
go ahead.
Sam.
No, ladies first.
I was going to say, we always talk about being the captain of the wealth team. This is our opportunity to be the captain of our communities and to get out there and to help be a part of this incredible change that I know anyone who knows Sam, he is relentless. Like you tell him to do something, he's going to do it. And so I'm proud of you, Sam. I'm honored to just know you and to have reconnected with you at the High Trust Sales Academy. And I appreciate everything that you're doing. That's not for the money. It's for a bigger purpose. It's your bigger why. And, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's, I jokingly say, when this gets signed into law, I'll be like 18 rows back and you'll see my hair and they'll be like, there's Sam back there. But no, that gentleman, Congressman Rutherford, 41 years in law enforcement, 12 as sheriff of Jacksonville, Florida. That man's seen more. And when I talked to him about doing this, he jokingly said, now this was the 70s. He said, Sam, 2 times I borrowed money from my parents in my life, my first kid and my first house. He said, I get it. And he's the one that kind of led the charge on the House side. On the Senate side, Senator Rubio jumped on. He said it best. Well, actually, he said 2 things. One thing, I'm going to prove him wrong. He said, Sam, along your journey, you're going to see bills aren't passed on merit. They're passed on who you know. Well, we're going to pass this bill not only on who we know, but also the merit of the bill. But, he said it best. He said, I don't know why anybody would be against this. And it's really, that's something that I was just in Washington, talked to 2 different senators' offices, and, it's a struggle sometimes because they hit us back with stuff that sometimes you just got to look them in the face. And we had an 18-year veteran of Nashville Metro PD, and he said, I understand there's a cost and the government's going to look at that. But he said, what about the human capital cost? He said, what about the times you don't have police officers or you don't have EMTs, you don't have firefighters or teachers that want to go serve because they're getting so beat up on the street that nobody is actually backing them on simple things like this. He said, so that human capital costs more than the federal government could ever pay out. And man, he knocked it home. I was like, I wanted to give him a bro hug after that. It's awesome. So.
Okay, so Sam, I've got to ask you on some VA strategies because you're also the master.
What's VA stand for? No.
Do what?
Virginia? Is that Virginia?
It's hilarious.
No, go ahead.
Do you have any? Because in fact, Denise had asked me this yesterday because she knew we were doing this call together and she wanted me to specifically ask this question. So nerd, you're going to have to watch this later after your Valentine's Day party. But
wait, I'm getting put on the spot by a nerd. All right, go ahead.
You are.
Awesome.
What tips and strategies do you have, or what have you done, even if it's educating the agents in your market space or your team, to get VA offers accepted right now in this very competitive market?
Well, I'm glad you brought this up because actually there's a Republican senator and a Democratic senator that we had a conversation. Actually, I would absolutely love my next challenge in life is to get, even though they're all state specific, somehow get the real estate contract to only say financed or cash. Because at the end of the day, actually the Wall Street Journal just interviewed me about this. You know, the strategies I can say is you have to get out there and educate the realtors. And unfortunately, and I'll get chastised for this, but people are lazy. They don't want to go the extra mile in a lot of sense. And the ones that do, if you're a loan officer, grab them, hold them tight. They are the ones that saying you never want to, don't let that one get away. If you find those people, you know, embrace them. I work with a lot of cops and a lot of veterans with my real estate community. And it's one of those things, just educating them and being proactive, calling the selling agents, you know, or sorry, the listing agents, and explaining to them what it is. You know, VA is one of the easiest loans to get. I think most people know that on the call as far as the underwriting guidelines and whatnot. I think it's just us really educating the consumers. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to hit everybody. And unless possibly legislative change would happen where they couldn't actually dictate what type of financing is listed. Now, the realtors are all about the Helper Act. If I went down that road to try and get legislation done so a contract can only show financed or not financed, you know, it'd be an interesting fight because I'm sure a lot of people would be against it in ways. But so to answer the nerd's question, the strategy is do what she does. She's massive on videos. You know, send that personal video. Everybody, well, most people have iPhones. You know, shoot a video, send it to the listing agent. Say, listen, I'm here. For me personally, I say I'm a Marine veteran. I've been doing VA mortgages for 25 years. Just like, I think I learned this at Todd, you know, good pilots will tell you 10 minutes before turbulence hits so you can go pee. And the bad ones don't tell you anything. Well, guess what? I'm the guy that 10 minutes before will let you know if something's wrong. But, you know, it's the Wall Street Journal article should be coming out soon because we were trying to find a veteran that was struggling getting offers accepted. And it's weird because I put a thing on Facebook and everybody will talk about it. But then when you say, well, can we talk to that client so we can try and get them in the article? We finally have somebody that they're thinking about it, 100% service connected Air Force veteran. And honestly, they actually have money. They can go conventionally, but because of that service connected and how they're making money with their assets, they want to go VA. You know, the rate's lower than what they're making. So they have that benefit and they're struggling trying to get a house right now. So there's not really an easy answer other than market correction possibly and just being proactive. I mean, video thing is big.
Well, I would think too. So I would kind of throw my 2 cents because I've seen a lot of those posts in there. So I think what you said, Sam, is correct. You've got to be calling the listing agent. And then remember, those of you who saw the Modern Mortgage Summit, we had Rick Betancourt. We talked about the fact that he's a benefits administrator for veterans. And I love that fact.
Yeah, that was good.
And what I found is that when I coach my loan officers to ask the listing agents the questions when they say, oh, a VA loan, and they're scared of it, is just because they're always worried about that appraiser and the appraiser, flipping light switches and doing stuff. And just, the great question is, awesome. Well, what are you worried about? Is there any deferred maintenance on your home? And when they say no, then you say, well, great. Then there's nothing to worry about with a VA appraisal versus a conventional appraisal. Plus, with the VA appraisal, you're going to get a Tidewater ahead of time. So if it's not going to appraise, we're going to know about it because that appraiser is actually fighting for the veteran. And it's just really being educated and understanding that. And so I would encourage that. And then, the other part of it is we all know it here, right? We're on the Mortgage Coach channel. We know TCAs, we know appraisal gap strategies, and especially in the situation where the veteran has money that they could put down, they can use that for the appraisal gap. And so I think that's up to you to get your TCA out. Educate your borrower on the appraisal gap, and then you can use that in your conversation with the listing agent that, because that probably is their concern, right? They can write the offer that says they're willing to pay $5,000 over the appraisal if it under appraises. So those would be my suggestions for how to get a VA loan accepted. I realize not every veteran has the money to do that last part, but the bottom line is it's up to you as a loan officer to go out and fight for your veteran.
Yeah, that's what, we're hooking and jabbing with everybody. And I just had one where I completely, let's say, blocked a person on Facebook because it was actually an FHA. The client was putting 10% down going FHA. And as we know, the MI drops over time if you're putting more than 10% down. And, it was $175 difference a month in payment that this first-time home buyer, this young couple was going to save by going FHA over conventional. When I actually talked to the agent, they're like, well, we just heard FHA is bad. The house was 3 years old, guys. 3-year-old house. Do you think there's really going to be repairs on the house? Like, It literally is a brand new house. And it's just, you know, that was a relationship where I had to fight for that person. And I lost a relationship out of it because their broker called me screaming, shouting. And at the end of the day, the client finally got to go FHA, but it's just sad. It's really, really sad. And it's up to us to educate them. So
it seems to me like Miss Plug and Play SM, Miss Social Media Queen, that there's a bunch of one-to-many videos here that loan officers should be making.
yeah.
You know, I'm going to put that on for Tuesday and make that the live TCA Tuesday example. And I got to tell you, I've been joining these Wednesday webinars from Lender Launchpad. If you're listening to this and you haven't set up a demo call with Lender Launchpad, Sam, do you know what Lender Launchpad is?
No, but you're going to tell me.
It is I can't believe how inexpensive it is right now. I'm sure it's going to go up. To me, it's a replacement of list reports, but it's a delivery system or process where you can have one link go to an agent. So talk about, you know, agents are busy right now, but in that link, you can have your PDF, which is your pre-approval letter.
Yep.
But then on the right, there's your recorded TCA, where you have your conventional versus VA, showing that the client maybe qualifies for both, but here's why the VA is the best financial strategy for the client. And it's not that, you know, because they may see that at first, you know, this is a VA offer and they're not going to, you know, they're going to immediately dismiss. So here's a way with one link, you can have your pre-approval letter, your TCA, a YouTube video, all in one link while your experience.com and Google reviews are streaming. I mean, it's a really slick, modern delivery system where it even creates like a website for you. People can apply, they can call you, they can text you. I mean, it's really, to me, it's like the 2.0 version of those who've mastered using Mortgage Coach, which I know Sam has, and he's doing TCAs for all of his clients when he's educating them.
That sounds like Match.com right there. You have a picture, you have all the links, who you are.
Yeah, it's just, you know, instead of sending an email with all these attachments, it can get kind of clunky and bulky. So I like the fact that it can be one link that's easily text or sent in an email, and it just kind of marries everything together. The other thing that I've seen lenders do is they're going after, you know, agents right now. They're really trying to help either their current agents get more listings because they know that's where the money's at for them. But they'll say, here's how we help you win the listing by using Lender Launchpad, and say it's giving them, you know, the link prior to the agent ever meets with the seller. So it's showcasing how you can help market the listing, where what the agent does is they send you a CMA. And I know everybody on here is doing their CMA a day mastermind group with their agents, where all they have to do is give you the PDF. And then what you do is say, this is how we, you know, represent as a team. Every offer you get, part of our job is to make sure that we help educate. Maybe you show conventional FHA, VA. Here's how we help you maximize, you know, obviously the seller cares about their net worth, but it also gives you an opportunity to give a second look to anyone who does make an offer. So my small little plug to anyone interested in Lender Launchpad, I highly recommend you set up a demo with Scott. I think you got to jump on it now. It's only $99 a month. I'm kind of shocked. It's a lot. When I first looked at it, I thought this could be very complicated. I was trying to figure out, you know, but it's very drag and drop. It's very easy to use.
A nerd could use it, right?
Yes. Yes.
See, so
yeah.
You know, it's honestly, I'm going to go a different way. Being a Marine, everybody jokes about crayons and pictures. I can tell you that I've sent videos that I look like completely, I just got out of the gym, and I'll just say, you know, you're living life, you're showing realism, I guess, if that's even a word, but that I actually will introduce myself to the seller on the video.
That's
and it's,
awesome.
you know, it's a minute, and I'm just like, my name is this is what I do. And I just want you to know the family that hopefully you'll accept their offer as an amazing person or a couple or whatever. And it's sometimes that we're losing a lot of that. That's actually what your sister does great. I love that she's very personal, you know, and very just real. And that's even why when I was outside by the White House, you know, I did that little video, and it's just people are missing that because so many people are robotic anymore. So
yeah, that's very true. I just taught a class on that you guys are not an avatar, and the most human brand wins. And although we have all this technology and all these things to make us more productive, people are starving for connection and intimacy and real relationships. So, document, not just create content, but document what you do. That's what I love. Todd, I kind of put the squeeze on him at the beginning of this year, where he has these great win by noon quotes every Monday. And, it's a great way to start your week and to really set the tone for the week. But then Todd has all this wisdom from coaching for so many years and being in the business and being a top producer in the mortgage space, that I pushed on him, said, go live and take the quote and put like life behind it, give it a heartbeat and apply it to business. And it had such a domino effect from the calls that I was having, that people were then referencing his live, and they were just quick little live segments that were genuine, authentic, and, sharing your truth that could make an impact.
I went to the Fox Patriot Awards and I met every Fox personality. And let's just say they all have videos of me that I'm sure they can use for blackmail one day. But I was outside a police conference and I shot a video to Dan Bongino. I was at another police conference. I shot a video of the Will and Rachel. And it's like, it's like, look, this isn't about me. It's not about sales. I said, I don't care who you put on TV, but have somebody talk about the Helper Act, because at that point, you're spreading out to the world. And so, yeah, it's fun. I mean, granted, luckily I know all the cops and I don't get stalking charges, but, I do it professionally. So.
Okay, so we're now at the tail end, and we're going to wrap up. Is there anything, Sam, before we go to Todd, so that we'll let Todd put the bow on it, Mr. Coach Win by Noon?
No, it's just, if you want to get involved, if you want to reach out, just reach out to me. George, Katie, and Wes are the three people in Washington that are helping us out. It's when you're in an event, it's really, doing what we're doing with the Helper Act is something that it leaves something in your heart. And at the end of the day, when this bill passes, 10 years from now, if I retire out of the mortgage industry, it's one of those things you can be a part of something that is going to change the country. The VA home loan did that back in 1944, and it's 77, 78 years old now. And it's like, here is our chance, as we are youthful still, I think, that, you get to do something cool. And honestly, it does. It builds your business too. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I'm one of the top guys at my company, and I'm fortunate because it has grown my production. Not that it's about the money, but it's something that I can take that money and then utilize it for other good beneficial things and whatnot. So, I appreciate you guys, Deborah and Todd, having me on. Actually, I know I'm a thorn in your side, Deborah. Hey, can I get on one? But it's one of those things. It's all of us working together. It's going to make it work. So, because I know, Deborah, right after this, you're going to be jumping on and reaching out to your congressman. Todd, I don't know where you live, but I can pull your guy up too, or girl up.
Arizona. I'll send you an email.
Where in Arizona? Where are you at in Arizona?
The capital, Phoenix.
Well, that's a congressman I talked to yesterday. He's a Marine.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah,
No,
so I think they're going to jump on.
I'm all about taking action, right? And, I'm super grateful, Sam, that you were willing to jump on here and share. I love the fact that you're committing so much of your personal time to doing this. And I would disagree with anyone who says you're doing it for your personal benefit. You're doing it for the benefit of the people who will be able to get those home loans. And you're doing it for the rest of us loan officers out there and real estate agents who will all benefit from more people being able to buy affordable homes. The thing that hit home to me the most was when you said, in the video, when it said that you have firefighters who live 2 counties away because they can't afford to live in the communities they serve. And I think it's just a great opportunity for all of us. So what I always say, you're here almost an hour in, and you need to take action, right? I think you need to look at what you can do in order to help serve those who have served us. And I know you're passionate about it. That's why you're in this industry, to help others. And so this is a group that really needs our help. I would also encourage you to go back and listen to when we talked about the strategies around VA loans, getting offers accepted, and then follow Deborah over there at Plug and Play SM for all your social media kind of insights, because she's going to give you the ideas that you can go out there and put on video. Because I think that's really important as well for you to grow your brand and educate those around you who follow you on how to better support those who've served us. Right, Deborah?
Gosh, can I just have you in my hip pocket and you help feed me? How you just take things and you put a nice bow and you condense it. I need to take lessons from Todd
Because I talk
When's
so
your next
fast.
coaching
I'm
program,
trying
Todd?
to slow down. We had a waiting list already for the next coaching group, but it won't probably start for about 6 weeks. It'll start.
I just want to say I have someone from the Nerd Squad that joined, and she joined a week later, and she is on fire. Like certain homework assignments I had given in my social media group they seemed almost like suggestions for this individual. And now that she's in your group, like she's killing it, Todd. So thank you for doing the program that you have. And what I love about it is a LO who's not closing any deals can afford to be a part of this group and also make a difference in their own life and their production by just having a friend in the space that's going to hold you accountable and help guide you of what you need to do. And not a high pressure situation, but because you've also lived it, done it for many years in a row. So, thank you to you too, Todd, with what you're doing and how you're helping the community.
Well, I appreciate that. We're having fun. And the crazy part is that almost 30% of the people who joined are actually closing a heck of a lot of loans. We got a $100 million producer in there. I've got a bunch of people closing 100 to 200 loans a year. However, it benefits them, but it was also intended for people who were struggling to close more than 5 loans a month consistently. And we definitely have a large component of brand spanking new LOs in there, which is a lot of fun. And that's really what my passion is. I do think there are tons of great programs out there for those who are producing consistently. And what's really interesting to me is that, there's just not a lot out there for people who aren't. And the crazy part is how committed these super producers are who are in the group. I always joke they're the first to get their homework in. They're the first to, comment and ask good questions. And so I think they're also setting a really good example for everyone else in the group. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And I'm excited too. Last kind of plug I'll give is next Monday, you and I are going to co-host. We've got a great real estate agent coming on who's going to talk about how she does CMAs so that we know as loan officers, you all want to get your community to have more listings. The way to get your real estate agents to have more listings is for them to be doing those proactive CMAs. We talked about it a lot last year. And the number one question is, well, how do you do them? So Veronica Morrow is going to come on and she's going to help show how she does them, which I think will be great.
Wow. Veronica is incredible. Her energy is just, that'll fire you up for the whole week. I'm excited.
There you go. Just go to winbynoon.com/calendar and you can sign up there. So again, I appreciate all of you for taking time to be there. I appreciate Robert behind the scenes and the whole crew over at Mortgage Coach for allowing Deborah and I to take over. As always, Deborah, it is a gift to have you here alongside of us and leading these calls. And of course, Sam, we wouldn't have done it without you. So thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate y'all being here, and we will see you next Tuesday here live in the Mortgage Coach community. Have a great one.
See you later.
Bye.